My name's Phil. Welcome back to another episode of Vermont's 100 Covered Bridges. Today I'm at the Depot Bridge, which is in Pittsford. You think of Vermont, you think of the Green Mountains. It's the Green Mountain State. And yet if you just look around me here, you've got the mountains way in the background. But this is one of the few open plains that exist in the state. And of course we have a bridge in the background, which is why we're here. The bridge is given its name, the Depot Bridge. If you're watching this, one of my friends in England, it's the Depot Bridge. I don't know how far you can see down there. I'll try and zoom. I can't, but right back there is the railway crossing. The same crossing that we're going to be at the next bridge, which is the Hammond Bridge. The Hammond Bridge is right in front of the railway line. But yeah, let's stick to the Depot Bridge. What do we know? What can I tell you? What I can tell you is it's a very busy bridge. It's going to be one of these ones that take me a while to film without cars coming in and disturbing me. Okay, so it was built in either 1840 or 1853. Bit of dispute over the 2 years. And it was built by Abraham Owens. And the bridge is 121 feet long and a town lattice. Although it's beauty surrounded by this plain, the downside of that is it gets a lot of wind, and the bridge has had to have reinforcement onto the upstream side to counter those strong winds. In 1985, steel beams were put in underneath the bridge. Hopefully we'll see them when I get under there, if I get under there. The biggest threat to the bridge was in June 2005, when a dump truck came under the bridge. The dump truck itself was no problem. It could easily get under the bridge and probably had done several times before. The problem was the driver was unaware that his bed was raised and went through the bridge and taking a good deal of the bridge with it. And this was all captured on film by Ed and Irene Barner of the Covered Bridge Society, who came down to inspect the damage, but also to take these pictures. And take a look at these. This is the damage that the dump truck caused. So Irene Barner took the photographs, and this is what Ed Barner wrote about in the Vermont Covered Bridge Society's magazine. We visited the bridge last evening. It is indeed trashed. The entire west end of the supporting roof structures are smashed and on the floor. The Depot Bridge has significant roof overhang at the portal, and the body is 20 feet in from where the portal meets the road. All cross bracing and roof bracing to where the truck body remains still standing on end is smashed to smithereens and on the floor. There are huge holes in the roof on either side of the roof ridge. The entire dump truck body remains in the bridge. I didn't try at the time to attempt to estimate of how far into the bridge the body remains, but I'd say on recollection maybe 20 feet. Photographing the interior was difficult as both ends of the bridge are totally barricaded with sheets of plywood. The only means of viewing the interior without a ladder is peering through about a 5-inch wide openings alongside of each portal. While there, we had an opportunity to speak with a young man who said his father is with the Pittsford Fire Department. The explanation the driver gave is that the dump truck had been parked overnight with the dump body in a slight upraised position to allow rainwater to drain out, which is a typical practice. When the driver drove off, the hydraulics activated the dump body to be raised to full height, and in that upright position, off he went towards the bridge. Fortunately for the driver, he did not encounter any electrical wires, but unfortunately for the bridge, it stopped his forward motion, ripping the dump body from the chassis where it remains. And here, on a piece of wood that was smashed from the bridge, is a poem that Ed Barner inscribed onto. Here is the old depot span, mortally hurt by a hired hand, given more than its share of knocks by someone thinking outside the box. Ed Barner. And you can see now, if I look at the roof, you can see it's very old original wood, but all of a sudden you get to here, and this is where This is how far in the dump truck took out the Depot Bridge west portal, and inside, which is, I mean, how do you not know that your bed is up and you're not going to get it through a 10'6" barrier? But yeah, thanks to Ed and Irene Barner for those pictures. Once again, somebody's put up the Wikipedia entry for the Depot Bridge, which is great. I think maybe I should do that on all the bridges I go to. And not forgetting Vermont Covered Bridge Societies, welcome to. Yeah, okay, so done the overground. This is the first time since my little accident last week. If you saw, I'm sure you laughed. If you didn't, have a look at last week's episode and yeah, give me a little bit of sympathy. And I was just amazed that I was actually filming it to capture it, because nobody would have believed me what happened if it wasn't on film. But anyway, let's try. The Otter Creek is calling me. It wants me down there, so let's go ahead and do it. The side of the bridge, I was just creeping down to check out if I can get into the river or go into the abutment, and there's this nice little hole here, so in we go. And now I've got to get even lower. Let's see if I can get to the end here. Wow, so here's an above shot of underneath, and I can even sit down here and look without getting down there. But you know me, I'll give it a go. I've just got to get under that and then scramble down that sandbank. Okay, let's see, but time to turn the phone off. This actually looks like it could be one of the easiest bridges getting underneath I've been to today. Just a quick look up here. I mean, it's just concrete block, and then we've got all this sand, and then this block here, and another one Whereas that one looks good. Actually, looks like I can get over there as well. And the bridge is rocking. I said the train station, well, the train line wasn't far. I'm not going to get down here because over there on that side there's a nice little ledge, and I'd like to take a closer look of the other abutment because it looks more interesting. But I'll take one from here and just zoom in on it. So that's the other side. Nice stone abutment capped off. Let's say I'm going to try and get down that path to the right of it. So I'm at the other side and a lovely little path. Hopefully can lead me down. Okay, I'm gonna have to I think it's a slide on the backside job, and then this tree will help me all the way down. Here we go. That's where I was. Those steel beams doing a great job over there. This is the bridge, just slightly downstream. Again, the river just doesn't look like it's going. I like the way it opens out there. All these fallen trees all over the place on both sides. I want to get a closer look of this abutment. Splendid piece of work. It's amazing how one side is modern and yet they managed to retain one side to have that true authentic look. Great to be down here and dry and not in mud, and just slightly upstream from the bridge. Thanks very much for joining me again. Hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did, and especially staying dry this time. Yeah, cracking little bridge. Again, no big history apart from that incident in 2005. If it hadn't been for that, you know, the bridge had barely been touched. Obviously there's a lot of underwork, but in terms of the what you can see and walk across and drive across, it was pretty much left as it was. Thanks again, Vermont Covered Bridge Society. Can't thank them enough, and I can't ask you enough to please join the society and get involved. And that's it for now. I'll see you next week. Another episode, 1.5 miles, 2 miles at the most from here. I'll see you then.